Big up, big up, big up, everybody. It's your boy Mark and MUFC fan. How are you doing? It's Friday. It's going to be a short update, guys. We're going to have a stream tomorrow. We'll have a little bit of a call in stream sometime during the middle of the day where you guys could call in, have your say. We can discuss some things, have some interesting discussions because guess what? Man United is on US tour. There's going to be games coming up. We have to talk about these things as well. But more importantly, Benjamin Sesko has received serious contact from Newcastle. Will United shrug off the competition and sign Benjamin Sesko next week? I can't say for sure, but certainly this deal is under threat and the options are becoming limited and more expensive. I think United need to stop dicking around and get the job done. But about the headline on the thumbnail, guys, big up to each and every one of you. And here's Lichen welcome for Alice the Deutschman, Manchester United fans. Big up to all of you and welcome to Red Devil Mode DE. I'm your host, Mark N, MUFC fan. You know what it is. The Trini boy is in the building. So, guys, what are your thoughts today? But listen to the news and the updates. Luke Shaw may very well be calling it quits at Manchester United with the appearance of none other than Dorgu and the likes of Harry Amas. Although going on loan, there is still the likes of Lenny Euro and Hayden Heaven. And Luke Shaw is starting to think that his place in the starting lineup, his days are numbered. And before this happens, he would like to be leaving the club. So it's very possible that in the next coming days, Luke Shaw could be a shock exit from Manchester United, further allowing change to happen and sustain and go forward with the new. And maybe a new player might be coming into the team. So, guys, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. And also, on the side of Alejandro Garnacho, it might be an interesting situation where he might be on his way to Bayern Leverkusen. Of course, we know Ten Hag has already announced to the media that he will not be re-signing Anthony, but it looks like the Dutchman is very much interested in his young Argentine protege, who he had trusted so much in his team since he came here in 22-23. The young Argentine is seeing a lot of interest coming from clubs like Napoli, Aston Villa, Newcastle, Spurs as well are interested in the player, and of course, clubs like Leipzig as well as Bayern Leverkusen from Germany are also interested in the player, and they would all be willing to meet the asking price of Manchester United. Will this deal be a possibility? To mention the other winger that will be up for sale, the likes of Anthony, there is likely that a move for Betis might be coming crashing to a halt, as Betis cannot meet the asking price of Manchester United this summer, and Manchester United has refused the option to allow him to go back on loan because they are going to expect a much improved loan situation where Betis will have to pay his wages as well as pay a loan fee. And Betis might not be willing to afford that in this current moment. So we will see, and there will be more information. But as is heard, the Saudi group is interested in bringing Anthony to the Saudi Pro League. They will be willing to meet Manchester United's 45 million pound release clause or for the player, or asking price for the player. I shouldn't say release clause, I should say asking price for Anthony. But I don't expect the player to want to go there as he still has hope of playing in. So it's one of those things where, guys, it will be interesting to see. I would not expect a young player who's still trying to get on the Brazil national team to go to Saudi. That might be the end of that. So it will be interesting to see what happens. If they can't pay, he has to stay, says Hayden Pro. Big up to my aunt in the building. Big up to Great One as well. Big up to Hayden Pro as well. If they can pay, he has to stay. And I think that's going to be interesting, bro, to see what happens there because we both think, or I think, that he could definitely play a right wing back role, even possibly fill in as a 10 role. And I think he will show up because he's had a very, very good 6 months at Betis last season. He was one of the best players in their team. Maybe that was what he needed. Maybe he needed a spark from somewhere and got it from the Heat in Spain. It will be interesting to see what happens there. I am looking forward to seeing how the transfer window plays out. Of course, if we need to sell, we must sell. There are reports that Chelsea is still interested in Kobe Manu. Rumors of a £75 million deal on the offer for the player plus add-ons. Will Manchester United let the player leave? There's some clubs interested in Kobe Manu as well in Germany, as well as PSG in France. It will be interesting to see what happens because, guys, I love this player. I talked about him so much. Before he even coming to the team, I was talking about him week in, week out. People was like, Mark, you're crazy. He's just in the academy. He can't do anything. What are you talking about? And then he landed. And he was like the 707 that I thought he was, a big jet plane. But right now, his performances have not been up to par. And he only has himself to blame for this because he needs to perform better, give more effort, and be more energetic across the pitch. And of course, he needs to stop jogging back. You know what I mean? The laziness at such a young age is crazy. I don't know what's happening with my mic. 1 second. I think I need to refresh the page. My bad, guys. Can you hear me? I hope the mic is working much better now. I hope it's not a situation where, it's. And yeah, Hayden, I think Man United should be signing Gyökeres. We should be signing that young defensive midfielder. And we should be looking to sign a player like Diomade. Because this will force players in the team who play in those positions who might be thinking, hey, I may not be getting game time. It's a World Cup year. Maybe I should be looking for a club to play for next season. It will help to force players out of the club. And this is how a smart club moves. Look at Chelsea. They signed a bunch of players, and all of a sudden you're hearing Chelsea selling this player, that player, this player, that player, this player, that, because they're all leaving, because they don't want to be caught sitting on the bench another season or worse. Not even on the bench, because there's like 55 men in the Chelsea squad. You know what I'm saying? They got two squads. They should be Chelsea 1 and CFC 2. You know what I mean? Yeah, Sporting is definitely playing a lot hardball. There's been talks between Crystal Palace and Sporting for over 7 weeks now for Diamade, and they have not come to a conclusion. And hopefully they do, because then Man United can hijack. You know what I mean? But we should be signing Benjamin Sesko. He cannot be allowed to go to Newcastle. Newcastle will have gotten two out of the best strikers in the next 10 years without any competition or Man United even trying to sign them. It would be ridiculous. Whoever is doing the signings at Man United, they have no courage. They lack creativity and they lack the inspiration of what it takes to lead a club of this stature because they can't, the risks they are taking are failable. They are not even taking any risks. A player like Benjamin Sesko is 10 times better than Liam Delap ever will be, and ever is, and ever can be. What Liam Delap did this season is garbage compared to what Sesko has been doing in Leipzig this season. And he had to bench two other starting strikers to start for Leipzig for the rest of the 17 games that he started because he played 33 in all and he only started 17. The others, he came on as a bit part player, but he kept scoring and kept assisting until he became their main starter. And that is the type of striker we need, someone with that kind of fighting mentality, someone that with a will to show what he's made of. And I don't know what United is doing, but yeah, it's looking long for us. But I do expect them to make a deal for Sesko. I don't believe Sesko will choose Newcastle over Man United any day of the week. It's a small club at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So let's see how we go. You know what I mean? Maybe we sign Usamade next summer. I don't know, bro. Chilling, man. It's Friday. No stress. Kind problema, broski. Yeah, it's one of those things for me where I just thinking that United need to get the business done. They can't allow these things to ferment. Newcastle is looking at Sesko. They admit, inquiring about him as we speak. Yeah, you don't want to have to end up in a battle with Newcastle because then instead of paying £60 million, you might have to pay £70 million like dummies. Like dummies. We should have just signed this guy at £60 million. We should have just sealed the deal. You know what I mean? But at the same time, Drex, Piff has stepped in the situation with Alexander Isak, and it looks like Isak is no longer for sale because Newcastle have officially set Isak as not for sale this afternoon. Just want to enlighten everyone about that. Big up to Madhouse in the building. Big up to everyone. So, it's one of those things, guys. It might be a situation where, although, you know, there are reports that Alexander Isak wants to leave, now that Pep have stepped in, he is no longer for sale. So it would take a mammoth offer from Liverpool. It has to be somewhere in the region of 150 million or more for him to be allowed to leave Newcastle this summer. So it's no longer a situation that he's leaving for sure, but you cannot put it past Newcastle for wanting to sign a top quality striker in the possibility S- Isak must go. And I would say in 2 years, they might be selling Sesko for 150 mil as well. That's how good that guy is. You know what I mean? It's long, guys. It's gonna be a long weekend. But I believe Manchester United is going to be losing. Yeah, they're gonna have to drop 150 M's, broski. 150 M's. Yeah, that is what Liverpool gonna have to drop 150 mil. It ain't gonna be cheap, bro. It's definitely gonna be another expensive signing that's probably gonna set the Premier League record for Liverpool. Mark Amorim must go five at the back is the reason and end of. Well, I mean, I do appreciate the five at the back situation. Yeah, I go and tell all you now. I need to see attackers playing in the wing back situation. Men like Anthony and Ahmad. Maybe we could have a Dallo play a couple games because he does put in a lot of good quality crosses. He does get in. He can score a goal here or there. But really, really and truly. Madhouse, I will not accept a 30-year-old striker that is only going to get worse and have to pay 70 plus million pounds because Aston Villa says he is not for sale. It's going to take a mammoth offer to sign him. Come on, Madhouse. How could you accept that? Yeah? How could you accept that and pay how could you pay 70 million for Ollie Watkins and not pay 60 for Sesko? That is mad. We have a striker for players to find, but some of the players we have in the team, they're not good enough to find the player. Because like I said, they have a striker to find. And if you can't find the player with your vision on passing, then it's on you. Watkins is not for 40 million, Madhouse. Madhouse. Don't let people sell you dreams. Whoever saying Watkins for 40 million is selling you a transfer market dream. Brother, Newcastle has established that Watkins is not for sale. You are going to have to make an offer to Newcastle way above his market value to get him to move from the club. It's going to cost no less than 70 million for Man United to sign Ollie Watkins. I'm telling you now. And you guys, what people will tell you guys differently. And then when the price goes up to 70 million, they will say, well, they negotiated and negotiated and negotiated. And yeah, but this is the price. This is what they want. I can tell you all now. Because it's known. It's known Aston Villa will not accept anything less than 70 million pounds for Ollie Watkins. It is known. It is widely known. Anyone reporting anything else, they went to transfer market and they Google what is his value on transfer market, and they are going with that as what they are saying the possible price can be. And I'm telling you here now that Newcastle has established, Aston Villa has established that he's not for sale. And that means if he's not for sale, you're going to have to offer at least 20 million more plus add-ons. It's not happening, guys. If Man United do a deal for Ollie Watkins above 40 million pounds, we are heading in the wrong direction. I'm telling you all now, because we are going to have to buy a striker next season or the following season. It will be a waste of money when we should have just signed the striker who's going to be at the club for the next 10 years. I don't know how Dogu have a chance to do anything. He's the worst player in defense currently. First, you need to focus on playing good defense. What's me this Mitrovic stuff? He'll have to accept at least 50% wage cut. Yeah, there's some rumors that Man United are looking at Mitrovic in the from the Saudi league as a quick stopgap, but that's also highly unlikely. Mitrovic is what, 31 this year, I think. Yeah, wild. He is not a winger, bro. The man can't cross a ball. He is a winger and he can't cross a ball or make a pass with his left foot on the left side of the field. Everything he does on the left side of the field is failure. It's failure, absolute failure. Bro, don't sell no dreams about a player who is a failed winger, failed left back. So he's trying to play a left wing back role. He trying. Let's hope he develop there. Let's just hope that he can develop at Man United into a better player. Better than him every day of the week. Every single day of the week. Yeah? Do you tell me, bro, a man crossing a ball every time the goalkeeper catching it. Every single time. Bro, go and check. Go and check. When when I was playing under 17, if I cross a ball twice and the goalkeeper catch it, the next ball I cross don't get to a player. I coming off the pitch, I getting substituted at halftime. I getting substituted at halftime, Balitech, I'm telling you. You know that. I know that. I don't know what's going on with coaches nowadays, but if this is the level of player they sell into the Premier League or they sell into professional football who cannot cross a ball when they have all the time in the world, far less in a clutch moment, the football gone to the dogs. The guy is useless, bro. GB, bro, I telling you, bro, I telling these man them this guy. We scout this man. He wasn't even good to even be scouted. It was like wasting time because you had to find a stat. You know what you had to do? You had to put this guy on the right side and get him to put in crosses from the right side because he's better at that side. He is better on the right side than he is on the left, and he left footed. Can you imagine? Exactly, boy. Anthony at left wing back would be a revelation to this guy. I must play 3 games. And I sell him out on loan so the board looking competent for signing Doku. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable the criminality that they're allowing these men them to this board to get away with that 40 million signing, only incurring a 12 million profit on Alvaro Fernandez. Guys, I would have swear the money we was getting from Benfica selling Alvaro Fernandez would have paid for Dorgu. It should have, because brother, we sell Alvaro, who's 10 times the player, for a fraction of that price. Brother, let's hope so. Because from the first preseason game, he looked shit. He ain't look no different from how he looked last season, all season. Same pace, same missed passes, same heading the ball to the opposition and crossing the ball to the goalkeeper. Same thing. So if that is your captain material, well, bro, I tell you, man, when Man United did, hmm, Jesus, I can't even say it. Because, bro, if that happened, nah, boy. I would pray with you that he cooks this season, bro. I ain't going to eat the first part, the first spoon, though. I ain't going to eat the first bite of that pot. I can tell you that. I'll make sure people then eat that and die from food poisoning first. Yeah, yeah. I would seriously just throw the Paraguay kid at left wing. Left wing back, he can't be much. Bro, this youth, man, in the next 6 months, is going to start some games over Logo, bro. And when I say that, because he needs some time to acclimatize and get used to the system and used to what is expected of him. And the moment he does, Dorgu's starting position in trouble. And then it might prove that a certain manager have a better eye for talent because anyway, it's just me being jokes, guys, at the same time. But it will be interesting to see what happens in the battle between Diego Leone and Dorgu next season. I think that battle will really heat up in January. And I do expect Diego Leone to win that battle handsomely. You know what I mean? Because he's a player that works hard, has good pace on him as well, and he can actually cross the ball. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. Yeah. And in any event, it's good. I wanted to let you all know that, don't panic too much this weekend, guys. You know what I mean? Before anything happens with Benjamin Sesko, Man United will be there. Just remember I told you guys. Right? So have a great Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe, guys. You know what I mean? Try your best, to have a relaxing one. Have fun. You know what I mean? Enjoy it with friends, family. With Mark and tomorrow on the calling show. You know what I mean? But don't forget to smash a like, subscribe, share it around, help the channel grow as we aim for 10,000 subscribers. And the aim is to get there by the start of the season or by the end of December. Guys, so big up to all of you, and I'll catch you guys later on.
Baby.